Okay, well, we've reached slide 19, basic variable stuff. The best explanation I've ever read for variables in Python is this. A variable is, think of a name of a variable as a name attached to a particular object. In Python, the variables need not be declared nor defined in advance, like in C# and in Java you need to declare them in advance. You don't have to do that in Python. You can define them on the fly and you can change them. And that's an important thing to keep in mind. In case to create a variable, you just take an assignment line, say dog equals Rover. That's it. That's a variable, folks. That is a variable of string type. That's it. There's nothing more complicated to it than that. Once you have the assignment function in there with an equal sign, dog takes on whatever value Rover is, and you can change dog to be .14, and then the type changes with it. So that's what I mean by you can change it at any time. So that's kind of a nice thing. You can also cast it. By casting, you change the type of a variable from what it is to what you want it to be. You can say dog equals string dog. And then you type dog. These are really simple exercises, but they give you a feel for what you can do in Python. I'm going to clear the screen by typing in OS system CLS. Clear the screen so I can get rid of it. If you recall correctly, a few videos ago, I showed you how to import the OS and then use the OS system clear to clear out your Python screen. It's very much the same way here. For declaring a variable in your IDE, it's very much the same thing. This isn't. I hate to use an overused phrase, but it's not brain surgery. It's not complicated. It's exceptionally easy, and anybody can do it. This definition, by the way, was taken from real Python, which is always a good source if you run into a wall and start banging your head. All variables in Python have a type. All variables are either an integer, a floating point number, a complex number, strings, bools, lists, dictionaries, or tuples. Let's just start with this. Let's start with an A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A equals apple. Spelled it wrong. B equals just any number. 3.14. No quotes around it. C equals a string. This is a string. D equals bools. If B well, I'll have to work that one out in my head. That one I'm going to have to work on for a minute. List. D equals a list. A list is this. 1, comma, 2, comma, 3, comma, 4, comma, 5, comma, 6, comma, 7, comma, 8, comma, and watermelon. All these will become clearer to you as we move along. Don't lose a lot of sleep. Dictionaries I'm not going to go into, and tuples I'm not going to go into right now. And we're just going to print the types of these variables out. And we'll just go print print and we'll run it real quick just to take a look and see what happens. Okay, so you got string, it's temperature converted. Well, that's just residual from before, so we're not worried about that. And then you've got your string, your float, your list. There it is. Now to find a bool, that's a little bit trickier because you basically have to ask a question. You have to ask a true-false question. So we'll say my age is 69, which it is. If age equals 70, I think that'll work with a bool. I don't know. Print bool equals true. I don't know what fell just upstairs, but I'm sure that I've got a 4-year-old that's G-R-U-E and a mother who are finding out. Let's print bool. Now that's probably a bad example of a bool. But you'll learn to use bools real quick. Now, bool is not defined. Phew. Of course it is. B-O-O-L-E, B-O-O-L-E. Bool equal true. Well, no, it's 69. It would have to be 69 to be true. So what I'm going to suggest you do is for bools, you go out there and you find yourself a website. And I'm going to do it here on Chrome. Type in bools in Python. This is an online course, and being an online course, it offers several different challenges. Among other things, you can't bang your head with me. Just isn't that easy. Here are some really simple examples of a bool. That explains what a bool is by the way you use it. So what you have to do is you have to be willing to go out and bang on things and get information that is outside of the course. If you expect that you're going to learn everything there is to know about Python in this class, then you are sadly mistaken. But that doesn't mean you can't learn a lot about Python. You can certainly say print $A equals B. Let's see what that has in it. See if that gives us a bool. That should give us a bool and say no. And it's false because A does not equal B. And that's how you use a bool. And you can assign a bool a variable name. anywhere you want to. You can say bool equals A equals B. Now you'll notice I use parentheses a lot. That's because I'm a mathematical type programmer, and parentheses mean a lot to me, but you don't have to use parentheses. We'll save it and we'll run it again. Again, it comes out, oh, of course it comes out false. Ha! I didn't change the print. Now it'll come out false again. So a bool really does have meaning in programming. If you say A equals A, save it, and run your module, there it is. These are some of the things you're going to have to learn as we move along. The reason is because you can't learn these things till you do them, if that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it does some days. Some days I wonder about my thinking. There are rules for naming variables. It can be as long as you want it to be. The only special character it can contain is an underscore. It can be made up of all characters in the alphabet and the 10 basic numbers. It cannot be a reserved word. If you take a look if we go back out here and we'll look at reserved words in Python. You get a list of words that are reserved words. These are reserved words in Python. These are words you can't name a variable. The reason you can't name them is because they have an intimate, a totally different meaning with the interpreter. And when the interpreter runs into one of these words, it says, aha, this is what I want to do. And if that's not what you wanted it to do, well, that's Tango Sierra Foxtrot Charlie. The interpreter takes precedence over you. And that's about all I wanted to go into with strings. Let's see what slide 20 says. If you're dying of boredom, you can try some of these things right here. But the next slide I'm going to enter into with for loops. So it'll be a little bit easier. Well, now let's see if we can do it here. Dog equals rover. A for loop is simply this. For I in dog. Print I. That's a for loop. It's that simple. R-O-V-E-R. This right here, this indent is called scope. Scope is kind of an interesting thing for a lot of people because they get very, very confused by scope. You should not get confused by scope. Scope is just this if will do this. This if might do this too. Print within So we'll do that and we'll run it real quick and that'll show you a little bit about scope. Scope is going to become more and more important as we move along. Now we'll take it out of scope. We'll say 70. And there, we're out of scope because it didn't print that line. You can check these things out, try them. You're expected to do some of these as we move along. We're cresting at 15 minutes. So let's close it here and we'll come back with for loops a little bit more.